Welcome into the Sports Map Houston YouTube channel. I am Brandon Strange of Sports Map. I am joined by Charlie Pallilo of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5 for a segment we like to call Pallilo Points. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do it. We really do appreciate it. Charlie, welcome in. One of the storylines over the past couple of weeks with the Astros has been around their starting pitching and maybe the absence of an ace. We thought Framber might take that mantle this year, and he's definitely had a good season. But his last few starts, he's had some control issues. Tuesday night against the Dodgers, we saw Lance McCullers throw a really good game, one of the best of this season, and against one of the best offenses in the league. So, Charlie, it got me thinking, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. Is it better to be a team that has maybe a rotation of 6 guys who are a solid number 2, number 3 starters? Is it good to have like a depth there, or have a rotation that maybe is not as deep but has a true ace at the top? What do you think?
I would say first weekend of April or last weekend of March, depending on how the calendar falls, through the last weekend of September or the first weekend of October, depending on how the calendar falls. Give me the depth and balance over the 162-game marathon. Postseason baseball, the sprint and the shortened series with still days off in there, to have a real hammer, an ace and a number 2 guy, because certainly your 5th starter is irrelevant. Your 4th starter you can choose to not use. So it depends on which race you are running. The Astros do not have anyone with the credentials at this point in their careers of a prototype ace. Greinke used to meet that definition. McCullers has the wherewithal to be that guy, and you referenced the Dodger game Tuesday night. 6 2/3 innings, because McCullers has had starts where he's been really good, but it's taken him 100 pitches to get through 5 or 5 1/3. That he lasted 6 2/3, walked his last batter. That may have been fatigue. He's their most emotional, adrenalized guy, and that's setting 52,000, the hate tour, the Dodgers' first shot at it. That was a marvelous outing, and even though Greinke's thrown a complete game and the Astros have had other starts go deeper than 6 2/3, I thought that was as quality an outing as any Astros starter has delivered. And by McCullers going 6 2/3, it means more McCullers. And even with the reworked bullpen, it's still good to shorten the bridge from your starter to your closer, especially on a night where you were without Ryan Pressly because of paternity leave. So then you get one big out from Blake Taylor. Kendall Graveman's been sensational since coming over, and Ryan Stanek had a 3-run lead to work through in the 9th. Lance McCullers, to me right now, presuming any of your options have their rest. If you're opening a best-of-5 series or a best-of-7 series, or let's go to the back end, it's the decisive Game 5 or the decisive Game 7, McCullers can have those starts where he implodes, but they've been fewer and farther between this year. Anytime he goes to the mound, he's their best equipped to give you 7 scoreless, so 6 2/3 scoreless. So while not lengthened out in terms of how long he's done it to be a number 1 ace, to me, Lance McCullers is the ace, at least in this snapshot of the Astros rotation.
We've also seen him pitch in some gigantic moments in this team's history. 2017, obviously, the landmark there. We've asked you this question before, and now that we're over halfway done with the season, I get to ask it again because it's still a good question, I think, because I want to get your thoughts on Dusty's use of the rotation going into a shortened series. So guys like Greinke, Framber, and McCullers, they seem locks. I don't know in what order you'd put them in. Maybe you could give me that. Give me your order of how you put those 3 guys, and maybe who slides into that 4th spot.
I think you can be a little bit matchup driven, and you will have the luxury to line them up. If the Astros win the division, their season ends Sunday. They will not play first game until Thursday or Friday. Right now, I would go McCullers 1 if I'm facing a lineup that is lefty tilted some. Maybe you come with Framber, the lefty, in Game 2. The ballpark you're playing in, say you're facing the Red Sox, who won the wild card game. You have the short green monster in left. Would you maybe rather have the right-handed starter there? But the way they're working right now, I would go McCullers 1, certainly, followed by Greinke or Framber in whichever order. Luis Garcia, whether it's just an air pocket or he's starting to hit a little bit of a wall, he's flattened out over the last couple of starts. Ditto Jake Odorizzi after he'd been great over 4 starts prior to that. And whether Jose Urquidy, who's been down for more than a month now after we told, it's a very minor thing. He's just now starting to throw off a mound, so he's a couple of weeks away. I think we're looking at a 6-week audition to who would be the Astros' number 4 starter in a postseason series among Garcia, Odorizzi, and Urquidy.
You mentioned Greinke being at the back end of his career, not being that ace guy that he once was. As of late, he's certainly looked more concerning, not able to go as deep, doesn't seem to have the control that he has had at the beginning of the season. So there are concerns around him. Do you think there's any likelihood that maybe Greinke falls out of that lock to be in that starting rotation?
I don't think so. And not that he's been relentlessly brilliant in the postseason, but the track record, having pitched in plenty of postseasons, fared well in Game 7 against the Nationals, that fateful exit for Greinke. Unless he really, really erodes, I think he's a postseason lock for at least one start.